Is it really possible for your average Magic the Gathering player to reach Mythic without spending a single penny? Today, we're going to put that to the test, starting with a fresh account and grinding the ranked ladder to see how many games it takes to reach the coveted Mythic rank. Hello everybody, my name is AJ and welcome to day 11 of the free-to-play to Mythic challenge. Yesterday was a disappointing day, only going 3-3 and leaving us 3 wins away from reaching Platinum Tier 1. Goal for today is just going to be to try and make up some of that lost ground, get us to Platinum Tier 1 so that hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to push ourselves all the way up to Diamond. Without further ado, we'll show you guys some of the changes to the deck list and get right into the ranked ladder. Here is the deck list that we are running for today. As you can see, the main difference is that we have taken out all of the Shelter by Ghosts and put in the 3 World Souls Rage we were able to craft with our rare wildcards. There will be an interesting day and definitely have to make some different decisions on how we layer our cards, and hopefully the World Souls Rage will give us a better matchup into those pesky control games, and we'll see how it affects our climb. Without further ado, let's hop into the ranked ladder. Here we are in game number 1 on the draw with a very, very interesting hand. If we're able to find a third land, or I suppose a second untapped land, definitely can be very, very threatening and pose even a turn 3 victory. Or I suppose turn 4, but I think it's worth the risk, especially being on the draw as we get an extra turn to try and find it. But we will have to see what cards we're able to find. And here we get our World Souls Rage right away. Fabled Passage for some red mana and wait and see. What our next draw will be. It's alright. Fabled Passage is not the worst card to find. It at least is a third land and lets us play our 3 drops on curve. But we'll have to hope and pray that on curve is enough. Another artifact for them to transform their dowsing device. Is there artifacts? Is definitely I mean, it's a very cool deck for sure. Unfortunate, it's likely we're probably going to lose to it, but it is definitely a very, very, very cool deck to see. And unfortunately, I kind of want to get rid of this Harrier. I think him getting to create those 2/2 robots is definitely not a good thing. It's a risky play, but I think that it's really our only shot we have here. And we unfortunately do not find what we need. But we can Evolving Wilds, and with that and World Souls Rage, we can ramp a little bit and kill something next turn. So we can Fabled Passage, get 4 mana, and get both our Fabled Passages back from World Souls Rage. It's like he doesn't quite have the mana to... Oh, I suppose he'll have Dowsing Device up again. It's a lot of damage coming at us. I think we'll go ahead and sack our Evolving Wilds. This is a spot where Shelter by Ghosts could be a positive. Really just depends. It's not exactly what we want to see, and unfortunately I don't think the World Souls Rage is going to be close to enough to get us a victory here. Um, they just have their flyers to swing over top. But we'll Traveling Chocobo and see if we can find off the top of our deck. Unfortunately, it's nothing super exciting. And we just have to hope for a mistake on our opponent's part, but this is, unfortunately, I think the third or fourth day in a row that we're going to start off with a loss in Game 1. Definitely very unfortunate, but hopefully we'll be able to bounce back. Definitely unfortunate. That is the game for our opponent. An unfortunate start to the day, but we'll be back in Game 2 and hopefully get some more wins under the belt. Here we are on the play with an interesting hand to say the least. Not the favorite hand I've ever seen. It's a little bit one note of Saza's Chocobo and nothing until I still Explorer. I think we can do better on the play. And this is, I think, exactly that. Send a Tifa to the bottom. On here we get Saza's Chocobo right away, and hopefully with our 2 draws to find a land, we can get our Traveling Chocobo in on curve. That is, I think, a huge mistake by our opponent. More than happy for them to spend one of their removal pieces on bouncing our 1-drop back to our hand. Only saves them 2 life. So let's see. I think Mountain is the right choice. Let's find. Unfortunately, not a basic, but I think I'd rather have Defend the Rider for protection than the Tifa Lockhart, to be honest. But I suppose with the Traveling Chocobo, we potentially can double for land drops for the victory. So I suppose we should put our Fabled Passage in first, push for some damage, and then get Tifa Lockhart in the second main phase. I think Defend the Rider may be worth it here. Actually, I think I'm okay with just letting him waste those pieces. I mean, bouncing does almost nothing. I mean, unless that is the strategy of the deck, which is definitely it seems to be. But I'm curious as to what the win con is and how that helps them really much at all. Suppose might as well get Defender in. Hopefully we don't get counterspelled. Get us a little bit of ramp and see what we can put together next turn. Just Tidebinders, sure. Fortunately, we lose all those abilities, but does that mean we don't add the lore counter? I actually don't know. Suppose I'm fine to just trade these. And then I suppose I will play Tifa Lockhart. See what they choose to play. I think I'm okay with that. The second Tifa in hand, and we can drop our Chocobo right now. I think they're just going to run out of resources, but against blue, you never really know. So I think I'll play Tifa Lockhart. I think it's safer. We will land drop this, but we'll save the second trigger for the Chocobo. And hope for a land off the top, but with Defend the Rider for protection, maybe we're in a decent spot. Interesting. I definitely don't love that. but I think I'm using that on a summon sick creature is okay. I think I want to use Defend Rider for a little bit more permanent interaction. Suppose I should have defended the rider on the target, but can fizzle that ability away. Definitely unfortunate. This is, I think, a mistake on our part. Probably should have tried to keep Tifa Lockhart available to us, especially with hoping to get Traveling Chocobo in next turn. World Soul's Rage is definitely an interesting card. We can always save it and use it as a way to push for victory, I think. Traveling Chocobo and just defend the rider to try and protect our Tifa Lockhart. And World Soul's Rage should be the victory with Tifa next turn. I mean, even without Traveling Chocobo, that's 6 land drops. It's enough to win. We will defend the rider this time. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that card draw. I mean, suppose a land drop, but nothing that I'm that concerned with. And I think I can just... I believe there's no 1-mana counter spells. So we will just pay Excess 3, although I suppose we can... And we'll pay 3, I think that's the right choice. Suppose we'll hit them in the face and get them closer to just being dead. Although maybe killing something is better. Honestly don't know. And that will be, hopefully, game for us. Great win to get us back on track, and we will get into game 3 and hopefully make some progress today. Here we are on the draw with an interesting hand. I don't think it's worth keeping. I think it's better to go to 6 here. Unfortunately, we find a hand that I, to be honest, don't think is that much better, but we will send Escape Tunnel away. Though I'm not super confident in how great this hand is going to be, especially finding more fetch lands. I would like other things to do, but I suppose I can't complain too much. Through the Azorius artifacts. Watched any of the other episodes, you know that this deck is absolutely the bane of my existence. So let's just hope we can try and find a way to survive. But with this hand, I believe it will probably be a loss in the books, unfortunately. I suppose Pinnacle Star Cages, I mean, it's great for them. In any other matchup, it would be a lot more value for them, I think. I think the fact that they're getting not a lot of value is a negative for me rather than a positive, but hopefully we can get enough threats in that it's not a lost game. But without any Defend the Riders, I don't know if we'll ever get anything to stick. And unfortunately, without Shelter by Ghost, we have no way to deal with the Star Cage or the Synthesizer. So I suppose all we're trying to do is get in as fast as we can, win the game. We can wait, because Fabled Passage will come in untapped after we play our next Fabled Passage. That gets us a couple more land drops. I'm going to save mana, because I would like to get the Mossborn Hydra in as soon as possible. So you won't get that Chocobo right away. hopefully with Escape Tunnel we can push for a good chunk of damage next turn. But if they drop their 3-drop removal, I mean, worst case would be 3-drop removal, 2-drop removal. Pinnacle Start Cage is also pretty bad. Let's see. Well, I mean, that's a victory for us without removal on their part. But I think it likely that they will have some way to deal with the Hydra. Unfortunately, they are down to 1 piece of removal that can answer it, but with United Brown in front, I am sure they'll find it. Ward Soul's Rage could be a pretty good top. Yeah, Perilous Snare is exactly what they want. Yeah, World Soul's Rage could be half decent, potentially. I mean, this repurposing bay is kind of useless right now. Well, now they have the Clayfired Bricks, it's not. I don't know if we have a win here. It's definitely a frustrating game. Went to 6, maybe could have gone to 5, but don't think there's a lot to have been done here. And the land off the top is going to secure that, as unfortunately another loss in the books. Definitely not a great start these past couple days, but we'll try and get back into it and scrape together some more wins. Here we are on the play with what looks to be a very fortunate hand. Can turn 1 Lantern Robes and either Tifa Lockhart with protection or Fenrir, and I think honestly Tifa Lockhart turn 2, being able to keep Defend the Rider up almost always is great. Unfortunately now, I'm a lot less happy about that choice, as I'm sure that there is removal for her, so I think we'll wait a turn, and now we will throw her in with Defend the Rider, hopefully push for a little bit of damage with the land drop and Fenrir next turn. But we will keep Defend the Rider mana open as long as we can. Yeah, I suppose that's a reasonable choice to make. Throw Tifa in for 2 and hope we find some better cards off the top. Protect our Tifa. And that's definitely not an awful choice, but it's not exactly what we want to see. Our best choice may be to try and get another fetch land. Only gets her to 8. Although I do think the best choice is probably to hold that for more value. I think sacking it for the 2 extra damage will be bad for us. Not exactly what we want to see, but also not the end of the world. At least some amount of land drops for Tifa are fine. Said again, I mean, if we could find like a traveling chocobo, that'd be great. Versely Bill would be another great option too. Even a Mossborn Hydra, potentially have more threats, could be good. And I think truly there's a lot of options here. That's not the worst of them. If we Terramorphic Expanse, we can at least... I suppose I should have grabbed red mana. That could come back to bite us, but we have the Fatal Passage if we ever need to. Puts him on a 3-turn clock. From now, even with the land drop, which is slightly unfortunate, but we find another fetch land. I suppose it's a 2-turn clock. It's unfortunate. That is worse somehow. The draws off the top have not been great today. Definitely had some better luck with those earlier in the climb. Finding lots and lots of lands these past few games. Suppose bouncing the Llanowar Elves is good value for me with the Regent, but continuing to find more lands off the top is unbelievably disappointing. I suppose we should sack the Escape Tunnel, as World Soul's Rage is probably a decent win con here. We do have enough mana with Escape Tunnel now to win if they do not leave counterspell mana open for them. So we will go ahead and grab our red mana. Also filters the deck a little bit. That's not exactly what we want to see, but it is at least something that can grow with the land drops. Potentially burns a counterspell. Unfortunate, but yeah. I think World Soul's Rage could be decent off the top. It just, I think they have enough mana to always hold up counterspell from now on. Unfortunately. But we did make the change for games like this where we need some kind of late game outlet. That is a card I don't love the idea of just slamming. I think if we hold it, we at the very least give ourselves the opportunity to find Defend the Rider is another win con as opposed to just World Soul's Rage. I think it gives us more paths to victory here, but definitely not in the greatest position. We have 2 more turns to find something. And that's definitely one of the things to find. Burn a counterspell and we can find World Soul's Rage. Burn a kill spell and we have to Defend the Rider for it. Unfortunate, but again, hopefully we can find something here. I think discarding a counterspell shows they for sure have one in the hand and there's no way they don't hold mana open for it, but we'll wait and see what happens. I mean, yeah, bounce is just the elves, I think makes sense. I guess a World Soul's Rage off the top is the only chance, but yeah, nothing at all. That is a good game from our opponent, and unfortunately, is going to put us at a 1-3 record to start the day. Starting game number 5 with a very interesting hand on the play. One that I'm not inherently opposed to, but there's definitely matchups that this hand I think does kind of insta-lose to. But that's a decent deck, decent top deck. Be able to get Traveling Chocobo in next turn and get 4 counters on the Saz's Chocobo, Fabled Passage, and then with Summon Fenrir following, I suppose bluffing the protection spell is the right choice. But with the following turn of Summon Fenrir and another Fabled Passage, decent spot to be in. This is unfortunate. I think exiling the elves is the right choice. Although potentially it's getting rid of the Chocobo and just playing our Traveling Chocobo and trying to get some advantage that way. I suppose if we got rid of the elves we could have done our original plan, but going to, I suppose, try and get Summon Fenrir in and keep these Fabled Passages for some kind of threat to combine with Traveling Chocobo. Okay. Well, let's get our Traveling Chocobo in. Fortunately, do not have a land off the top, but more than happy to grab Defend the Rider, I believe. Push him for a little bit of damage with the Summon Fenrir. Unfortunate to lose our Traveling Chocobo to the Azar Beastbinder, but it's not the end of the world. Be able to get I was gonna say we'll be able to get a second one in, but the second Beastbinder kind of nullifies that a little bit. But we get a little bit of card draw. Traveling Chocobo, hopefully we can generate some advantage. Doesn't appear so, unfortunately, but we can Fabled Passage to find something else off the top. I mean, that's exactly what we like to see, and I actually think I'm going to hold up, I'll try and hold up both of these since it's likely Traveling Chocobos are going to be dead cards because of the Beastbinders, so we'll get the Mossborn Hydra as much value as we can. I suppose we could have land dropped and just defended the Rider to protect one of the Traveling Chocobos from being stopped. Yeah. Potentially worth it, but I think Defend the Rider for the kill spell on the Hydra is much better for us. Only taking 2 damage here, and we still have Chocobos that can swing in for damage. And more than happy to just send away the elves. Not necessary. Nearly as necessary, that's the point of the game. I'll play our Mossborn Hydra. And hopefully, with 2 mana and Defend the Rider, should be able to survive. We're going to Fabled Passage, because even if they let one of the Traveling Chocobos through, the Mossborn Hydra then isn't going to double. Taps the Traveling Chocobo. I think I'm okay with that happening. Oh, I suppose I'm playing right into a Enduring Curiosity. But we can still just block, I think, with the Mossborn Hydra. So we unfortunately will have to give up 1 piece of card draw. I don't think that is the end of the world. Okay, I think that's somewhat reasonable. Hopefully we can play a land off the top, and I think absolutely should block and try to power 2 or greater. Wow, Azar Beastbinder is almost impossible to interact with. That is definitely frustrating. Looks like I'm gonna get 2 pieces of card draw, is a little bit disappointing. I think I'm okay with this because I'd like a different top deck than Tifa Lockhart. Also, this double Beastbinder is brutal. Maybe I want to try and keep it around so we can get... No, I mean... Wow. Double Beastbinder is really, really tough to deal with. We do still have a 6/6 to swing with. And I suppose Escape Tunnel is great because then on his turn I can double the Hydra twice. We'll swing through. They have to take it. As long as they don't have 2 more kill spells in that hand. In a decent spot. Really unfortunate if they have another kill spell. So we will sack our Escape Tunnel. I would like to have World Soul's Rage, but that always does play into a counterspell, and this at least lets our Mossborn Hydra grow. Okay. Suppose he can stun counter the stun counter the Hydra. That makes sense. Player traveling Chocobo though. Fortunately, not find anything super useful off the top, but or something we can play off the top. But Defend the Rider is definitely useful. In the hopes that they didn't top deck removal, Defend the Rider should hopefully let this Mossborn Hydra stick around.
I just hate a fair fight.
And I think I'm gonna double block the Kaido. Actually, no, I don't think I will. I think the double traveling Chocobo is still really strong here. Although I do love the idea of getting rid of Kaito. Mossborn Hydra only need one more turn to come back online, and we have Defend the Rider to hopefully make that happen. It's already big enough to push through for the game. Let's just pass and see what happens. Sure. I think I will Defend the Rider. I think they would have just kill spelled it. And we kind of need to keep trample on it. But if they have the kill spell in hand, we just kind of lose the game, which is unfortunate. Counterspell works just as well, pretty much. 2 more card draw, probably a kill spell. It's really, really unfortunate. It's that the double Azure Beast Binder shuts us down for way longer than we're capable of dealing with. Well, let's see if it at least gives us a blocker. Can swing with the Hydra to get rid of one of them, but I mean, we're going to have to at some point anyway. It's probably the right choice, but that does mean, I mean, we lose to removal anyway. Yeah, so I mean, I think this is the right choice. Just have to see. I mean, it's up to our opponent now. I mean, they have so much card advantage, I don't think we'll ever be able to match it. See if they're able to find anything good off the top. We'll lose our Tifa. It's another blocker. We still lose to a count to a kill spell. So probably we should just swing with the Hydra. Like, yes, we do literally lose the game to a kill spell, but I think we lose if they kill spell this Hydra anyway. This is a very frustrating game. As a big fighter of try to avoid tilt as much as you can, but you know, nothing to do but keep trying to play better. Double Azure Beast Binder is really tough to deal with. This deck unfortunately lacks a lot of interaction. I think that's part of why it's fallen out of favor. Well, let's keep our Hydra up, I guess. can Evolving Wilds, double it on their turn, but that doesn't accomplish very much for us. It's already a winning card, and that unfortunately is going to seal the game for our opponent yet again. Puts us at a horrible, horrible record for day 11, but we still have time for another game or maybe two. We're on the draw with not a bad hand, but one I think that doesn't just quite match up to the level of decks we're now getting into in Platinum. I think we'll keep this, but I think definitely need to make sure to be a little bit more aggressive with the mulligans now that we're playing against better players with better decks. Definitely need our decks to perform at a higher level. Icicle Explorer can ramp us hopefully into a really strong World Soul's Rage. Saz's Chocobo is a decent backup option. Fortunately, into the black deck though, I would not be surprised if we're not able to keep our pieces around. Deep Camera Bat is interesting. I mean, they have to take the World Soul's Rage, otherwise we can just kill the bat and get whatever we want back. And so I think that doesn't work out as poorly for us as it could have. Here I kind of want to force so that I can get the Traveling Chocobo in on turn 2. But I think the Saz's Chocobo into Fabled Passage is just fine. Keeps a little bit more removal unknown, or a little bit more of our hand unknown. Obviously we're happy to trade the elves for the bat at any time, get that World Soul's Rage back. Creature is a scary card to see come in. Traveling Chocobo can make our Saz's big enough to block it effectively, but still is going to be pretty good. At least one piece of card draw for him, if nothing else. And yeah, we will hold up the Saz's Chocobo to block the Preacher. We can next turn Ice Till, Fabled Passage twice, and then grab Bristly Bill will be pretty good. Get our Saz's Chocobo to be huge, huge creature. Although unfortunately that's going to mill us a lot of cards. Ice Till and double Traveling Chocobo is a little bit scary. Curiosity card draw is definitely frightening. We see a Traveling Chocobo off the top, which might as well go ahead and play. Get another land drop in, and lots and lots of triggers on these Sazas. We will just play Bristly Bill. We'll try and get a block out of this. Oh, I'd like to keep it up to block that Preacher, and on our next turn we can Mossborn Hydra and hopefully create something big enough to give us a win today. I think them using that on the Bristly Bill leads me to believe there's not removal in the hand. At least not any removal they can make use of at the moment. So we feel pretty happy about getting to play Mossborn Hydra. Even without Bristly Bill, getting 3 doubles every land drop is very, very strong. Fortunately, do not find a land off the top. And as scary as it is, I kind of want to Icicle Explorer to try and get some lands in. But I think the right choice is to Mossborn Hydra. Again, keep the Saz's Chocobo so they can't swing with the Preacher. And depending on what cards they have, I still can win us the game with Mossborn Hydra, but it's no guarantee. Unfortunately, that Curiosity is going to be a lot of card draw for them. Able to get in Kaito. Fortunately, that may be a victory for us, unless they're able to find black mana. I suppose they can always just Flood Pitch Drowner the Hydra. We have no way to give the other Chocobo
Control the fight.
protection.
Control the outcome.
That is unfortunate, but we will play this. At least make the Hydra pretty big. And I think there is not a lot else to do. I think this Ice Steel Explorer should probably just never be played. I will say that. I think that it is never going to be the right choice for us. And I suppose I will... suppose I can play... yeah, I suppose what I should do is I think if I swing all three of these at Kaito, bar the Flood Pitch Drowner, I can get a loss on Kaito, but that is I think the right choice for them. I think the Traveling Chocobo... trading Flood Pitch Drowner and Curiosity for these I think is the right choice. They can't shuffle away the Mossborn Hydra. No, but they can just block with the Preacher, and that means nothing for them. So we'll just play another and hopefully find something good. I suppose we could have escape tunneled for a different top deck earlier. At the very least, Tifa's a scary card, but now they have all their black mana available. Lots of kill cells available to them. Lots of ways to answer the Tifa Lockhart, I think. We may have to play Ice Steel Explorer to get our Tifa to push through for the victory, and I would love them to tap out so I can feel more confident doing that, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Unfortunately. Yeah, I can't commit to that. Until they do commit something to the board. So if I do that with Tifa, they can always just kill spell her and I mill half my deck for nothing. Mill 4 cards every time I get a land drop here. I guess that would only be about a third of the deck right now, which is not the end of the world. I suppose is the right choice to make, but definitely not one I am super excited about. I mean, I guess I'll pay for it. Perhaps he didn't realize I had the elves. Actually, looks like they may not have interaction. Let's double Tifa again, hopefully. And depending on what interaction they have, I mean, Tifa is more than enough to push through for the game. And that fortunately does give us a victory. Fortunately, we do not have time for another game today. And today is going to mark the worst record we've had during the entire series. With a 2-4 record, losing us a good chunk of our progress through Platinum Set 2 is definitely not where we want to be at the end of day 11. But also, we made some really good progress at the start of the series, and we're still on pace to reach Mythic within the month. We'll get back on it tomorrow, and hopefully continue to put together some good games and get back on the win streaks to progress us through the higher ranks.